Becoming God's friend. The faith journey of Abraham. Imagine being so close to God that he calls you his friend. Not just a servant, not just a follower, but a confidant, a partner in his divine plan. What would that relationship look like? What kind of unwavering faith would it demand? Today, we embark on a transformative journey through the life of Abraham, the man who walked with God, trusted him against all odds, and earned the profound title of Friend of God. James 2:23. Let us open our hearts and minds to the timeless lessons embedded in his story, and discover how we, too, can cultivate a friendship with the Almighty. Our story begins in Ur of the Chaldeans, a land steeped in idolatry and worldly pursuits. Amidst this backdrop, a man named Abram lived with his family. One day, the voice of the Almighty, the Creator of the universe, resonated within him, extending a divine invitation. Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. Genesis 12:1-2. Can you fathom the magnitude of this call? Leaving behind everything familiar, your home, your security, your cultural identity, solely on the basis of God's promise. This was not merely a relocation, it was a complete surrender, a leap of faith into the unknown. Abram, without hesitation, chose obedience. He gathered his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, and all their possessions, and embarked on a journey to a land he had never seen, guided only by the voice of God. This initial act of obedience serves as a powerful lesson for us, especially as young believers. God often calls us out of our comfort zones, urging us to leave behind familiar paths and embrace new challenges. Are we willing to answer that call, even when the destination is unclear? Are we prepared to trust in his guidance, even when the path ahead seems uncertain? As Abram journeyed, he encountered numerous trials that tested the very fabric of his faith. A severe famine struck the land, forcing him to seek refuge in Egypt, where he had to rely on God's protection amidst potential danger. Genesis 12:10-20. Later, disputes arose between his herdsmen and Lot's, leading to a difficult separation. Genesis 13:5-9. These were not mere inconveniences. They were trials designed to refine his character and strengthen his reliance on God. Yet through it all, Abram remained steadfast in his trust. He did not succumb to despair or bitterness. Instead, he turned to God in prayer, seeking his guidance and provision. This unwavering faith is a testament to the power of a heart fully surrendered to God's will. As students navigating the complexities of life, we too will face our share of trials. Academic pressures, relationship challenges, and personal struggles can often feel overwhelming. But like Abraham, we must remember that these trials are not meant to break us. They are opportunities to deepen our faith and draw closer to God. Then, God performed an act that defied human comprehension. One night, he led Abram outside and instructed him to gaze upon the vast expanse of the starry sky. Look up at the sky and count the stars, if indeed you can count them. Then he said to him, so shall your offspring be. Genesis 15:5. At that moment, Abram, despite his advanced age and Sarai's barrenness, chose to believe. He embraced the seemingly impossible promise of God, and this act of faith was counted to him as righteousness. Genesis 15:6. This was the cornerstone of his friendship with God, a faith that transcended human limitations and embraced the boundless power of the divine. This passage teaches us a profound truth. God's promises often seem illogical from a human perspective. They require us to step outside the realm of reason and embrace the realm of faith. As students, we may encounter situations where our academic abilities or personal circumstances seem inadequate to achieve our goals. But like Abraham, we must hold fast to God's promises, believing that he is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think. Ephesians 3:20. Years passed, and Abram and Sarai grew older, their hope of having a child seemingly fading with each passing day. Yet God remained faithful to his promise. He reaffirmed his covenant with Abram, changing his name to Abraham, meaning father of many nations, and Sarai became Sarah, meaning princess. Genesis 17:5-15. These new names were not merely symbolic. They represented a transformation of identity, a reflection of God's purpose for their lives. Then, in their old age, God performed a miracle that defied all natural laws. Sarah, once considered barren, conceived and gave birth to Isaac, the son of promise, Genesis 21:1-3. This child was living proof of God's faithfulness, a tangible manifestation of his power to do the impossible. This miraculous birth serves as a powerful reminder that God is not bound by the limitations of our human understanding. He is the God of miracles, the one who can turn barrenness into fruitfulness, despair into hope. As students, we may face challenges that seem insurmountable, but we must remember that God is able to break through any barrier and fulfill his purpose in our lives. But Abraham's faith was about to be tested in a way that no parent could ever imagine. God commanded him, "Take your son, your only son whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you." Genesis 22:2. Imagine the anguish that must have gripped Abraham's heart upon hearing this command. Isaac was not just his son, he was the son of promise, the heir to the covenant. To sacrifice him would seem to nullify everything God had promised. Yet Abraham did not waver. He chose obedience over his own emotions, trusting that God had a greater purpose in mind. He took Isaac, gathered the wood and climbed the mountain, his heart heavy with sorrow but his spirit resolute in obedience. Just as he raised the knife to obey God, an angel of the Lord called out from heaven, "Do not lay a hand on the boy. Now I know that you fear God because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son." Genesis 22:12. At that moment, God provided a ram for the sacrifice, sparing Isaac's life. This act of divine intervention was not only a testament to Abraham's unwavering faith, but also an incredible foreshadowing of how God would one day provide his own Son, Jesus Christ, as the ultimate sacrifice for the sins of humanity. This ultimate test of faith teaches us the importance of complete surrender to God's will, even when it seems incomprehensible. As students, we may be called to make sacrifices in our time, our resources, or our personal ambitions. But like Abraham, we must trust that God's plan for our lives is far greater than anything we can imagine. Abraham's unwavering trust in God sealed his legacy for generations to come. Because of his faith, God reaffirmed his covenant, promising that through Abraham's descendants, all nations on earth would be blessed. Genesis 22:16-18. This promise was ultimately fulfilled through Jesus Christ, the Messiah, who came from the lineage of Abraham to redeem humanity from sin. And the greatest honor bestowed upon Abraham. The Bible declares, "Abraham believed God, and it was credited to him as righteousness, and he was called God's friend." James 2:23. What an extraordinary testament to the power of faith. Abraham's story demonstrates that faith, obedience, and unwavering trust in God are the hallmarks of a true friendship with the Almighty. As students, we are called to emulate Abraham's example, to cultivate a deep and abiding friendship with God. This requires us to believe in his promises, obey his commands, and trust in his guidance, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. So, are you ready to embark on a journey of faith like Abraham? Are you willing to trust God even when you don't see the whole picture? Are you prepared to surrender your will to his, knowing that he has a greater purpose for your life? Let me know in the comments below how Abraham's story has inspired you. Share your thoughts on what it means to be a friend of God. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so that more people can discover the transformative power of a relationship with the Almighty. May God bless you abundantly as you seek to deepen your friendship with him. Remember, he is always there, waiting to walk alongside you, to guide you, and to bless you beyond measure. Stay blessed, and I'll see you in my next video.